Welcome to the Brent Gove podcast with co-host Eric Lofholm. We are building 1 million agents in 100 countries in 10 years. Now, here's your host, Brent Gove.
Hi, this is Eric Lofholm. I want to welcome all of you to the Brent Gove podcast. I've got a short message for you today. Got a couple of ideas to motivate and inspire you. And the first idea is one of the greatest discoveries I've ever had. I don't know if it's really a discovery because I learned it from studying masters. I've been studying personal development since 1988. And one of my most recent discoveries is the distinction of a declaration versus an affirmation. And you've probably all heard of affirmations before. You likely have done affirmations. You might regularly do affirmations as a part of your daily routine. And a declaration, in my view, is 1,000 times more powerful than an affirmation. So if I tasked you and I said, I want you to pause the podcast and take the next 10 minutes and go write down some affirmations for you to say. And so let's say you did that and you went off for 10 minutes and you came back and I said, okay, would you share one of your affirmations with us? And you go, yeah, my affirmation that I created was, I am unlovable. Right? You would never say that. You would never go in affirmations class and come back with, I'm unlovable. Or I don't deserve success, or I hate prospecting. Yet, people declare those things every day. So declarations oftentimes are I am statements, and you're declaring this is who I am. And it's far more powerful to declare who you are than to say an affirmation. So, you likely have unconscious declarations. There's things that you say and you're not even aware that you're saying them, and they got into your subconscious likely from when you were a little kid, ages 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. You came up with these ideas to survive, or your mom or dad programmed you with these ideas, or you had a teacher or a coach or a mentor, a guide, and they put these thoughts in your head. Like, I am not good with money. Some people declare they're not good with money. As soon as I make it, I spend it. I know I need to be doing more open houses, but I don't do it. I know I need to go to bed earlier, but I'm always up till 1 o'clock in the morning. And then you come to a coaching call with me and I go, what's the biggest challenge you have in your life right now? And you go, my sleep. And I go, really? Tell me about that. Well, I know I need to go to bed at 10, but I can just never do it. And I always end up staying up until 1. And I point out to you, that's your problem. And you go, what do you mean? You are declaring to the universe that you can't get yourself to go to bed until 1, and you're creating your reality as that, and that shows up in your world, and you go, see, it is. There it is again. See, I'm up till 1. Right, because you told yourself you're going to be up till 1. So you start catching your thoughts. You are in control of your thoughts. You are the only person that can change your thoughts. The other idea I want to share with you today is to take every relationship deeper. And one of the things about real estate, you've probably been taught, give me a lead. You get a Zillow lead or a for sale by owner or an expired listing, or you have a referral, right? And then you do your best to get that lead to the finish line, to close the transaction, to help them buy a property or help them sell a property. And you rinse and you repeat, you do it over and over and over again. And that's valuable, and that's a part of being an agent. But there's another component, and that's the relationship component. Many agents will tell me they do not do a good job of going back to their previous clients. So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you a very simple idea. It's probably worth 30 transactions to you between now and the end of your career. What I'm going to tell you here in the next couple of minutes, no exaggeration, is likely worth 30 transactions. And so the idea is I take every relationship deeper. Every relationship, not just your previous clients, every relationship. So I'm at Starbucks the other day and I take every relationship deeper. And I've been going to the Starbucks for years and I never knew anybody's name. The people that serve me the coffee, and they all know my name because I order on the app and my name's on the sticker and they call me by my name and they know I'm Eric. And I never bothered caring enough to get to know their name. And so I know Jalen. I know that name now. I can picture her in my mind. I know Nick. I can picture Nick in my mind. I know Christina because I decided to take every relationship deeper, including the relationship with those at Starbucks. So the other day, my daughter's a sophomore at University of Arizona, and her boyfriend also lives in our community, and he also goes to University of Arizona. I'm in Placer County, California. So he was in the area, and my daughter was not, and he needed to get an iPad for my daughter from my house. So he texted me. His name is RC. RC texted me, hey, can I schedule a time to pick up Sarah's iPad? And I said, no problem. And normally I would just put it out front. Tell me when you're going to be here. I'll leave it out front. You can just zip by and get it and go. Real efficient for him and for me. Or I would have said, give me a window when you're going to be able to come by, and I'll make sure I'm not on calls, and I'll come knock on the door when you get here, and I'll give it to you. I take every relationship deeper, including my relationship with RC. So instead of doing that, I texted him and I said, hey, why don't we meet at Starbucks? It'd be great to spend some time together. And we spent 30 to 45 minutes together at Starbucks. And it was the first time I was ever with him one-on-one because he's always with my daughter. Makes sense because they're together. Why would he see me without my daughter, right? And so we had a really nice visit. We got to know each other a little bit better. I take every relationship deeper. So the last agent that I worked with, the house that I'm in, I'm doing this podcast today from my home office, and I own the house. Well, the bank does, but my wife and I are on the title, and we have a mortgage like probably a lot of people. And so this agent helped us secure the property with a lease option. This is several years ago, and I had some issues with my credit and I couldn't get a loan through. And so the agent suggested, well, why don't we propose a lease option? And I'm like, sure. And then they proposed it and we got the deal closed. So now we tied up the property for 2 years, and then the lease option came due, and then we ended up buying the property. So that's the property that we have now. And the agent did an amazing job. I didn't suggest the lease option. It was his idea and it worked. And now we own the house. And I barely heard from him over the last 4 years. So I'm a happy client with the work that he did. I'm not happy with him not being in relationship with me as far as reaching out more often. So if you take on the mindset, I take every relationship deeper, and it might just be at Starbucks knowing the names of the people that are there. I don't think I'll go deeper with the Starbucks people, but it'd be good to know their name and say hi to them. And you take your relationships deeper with your sphere of influence, people in your network. How about when you do an open house? How about going and knocking the door of the neighbors? 5 houses to the left, 5 houses to the right, 5 houses across the street to the left, 5 houses across the street to the right. You got a perfect reason to knock the door. Hey, you might have seen my signage in the community here. if it's your listing. If it's not your listing, then no problem. I'm here. You might have seen that this property is for sale. I'm holding the house open, and I want to know if you know anybody that might want to move to the neighborhood. Perfect opportunity. And you just go a little early and you do your 20 door knocks right there. And you start thinking about your business and doing this everywhere you go. This little tip's worth a lot of money for you. So that's going to wrap up another great edition of the Brent Gove podcast. As I always say at the end of these, I want to encourage you to share this podcast with your team and with your organization. And I also encourage you to listen to the podcast multiple times to put the declaration versus affirmation distinction into your subconscious and this idea of taking every relationship deeper into your subconscious. Thanks for listening. Look forward to connecting with you on a future episode.
Okay, so here's the deal. We have incredible information, video content on my YouTube channel. Go over there and make sure you subscribe. And it's vital that you ring the bell. If you ring that bell every time I put out new content, it's actually going to notify you and you can get the latest and greatest of what's happening at EXP. Now, don't forget to like me on Facebook so you can also get that content, and then follow me on Instagram. We're hitting everybody high, low, and in between. We're trying to get the information out there so you can build big businesses, revenue share organizations. So go to YouTube right now. Please subscribe and ring that bell. Like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram. We'll see you out there.